Welcome back to Food Booze Cigars, episode number 4. We are moving right along with these episodes. I love it. Tonight's topic is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked Bourbon and Arturo Fuente Hemingway cigar. And to tie it all together, we are going with a prime rib sandwich. And for dessert, some coconut macaroons.
Thanks a lot, folks. See you tomorrow.
And that's it. Have a good one. Chris, what you got for us? Let's start off with some food.
What's up, fellas? So for episode 4, we're going to start with a little prime rib slider. Hawaiian buns, because they're delicious. And you just, you could, listen, I say prime rib. You could use roast beef if you want. Little bit of, like a quarter stick of butter. Saute it with some onions, mushrooms, little beef stock. Let that reduce, salt and pepper. And then on top of the roast beef, add the provolone. Then add those mushrooms and the jus back on top. Top the Hawaiian buns. And then on top of that, I just did a simple, I melted some butter with garlic powder, a little oregano, some salt and pepper in there. And then make it fancy with some sesame seeds. Throw it in the oven for about, 10 minutes. Let that cheese melt. Everything's cooked. So you're just really heating it up, getting that golden crust on the top, letting the cheese melt. That's some fat boy goodness.
Oh, yeah.
And if you use the 24-pack, you got something left over maybe for the next day.
Now, in the actual pan, though, with that 24-pack, do you put it in, the rectangular looking dish?
Yeah, I put it in a glass Pyrex dish.
Pyrex, that's what it's called.
Yep. And the key is
layer it that way?
Yeah, and the key is cut the Hawaiian rolls all together and keep them attached. And it's easier after everything's cooked nice. You just scoop them out.
Okay.
Little slider at a time.
So you're telling me. So what you're basically telling me right now is that I'm gonna have to recreate this, right?
Well,
that's what you're telling me.
I'm saying that mushrooms, onions, a little roast beef, and some provolone melted cheese. That's some goodness right there.
That sounds great.
Question. Is the provolone the only cheese, or can you do like a mozzarella, cheddar?
I prefer the provolone the way it melts, and it's got a little bit of a sharpness to it. But by all means, you could use any cheese you want, except Swiss.
Okay.
You don't use Swiss because it's got holes in it, and you get less cheese. So use.
Got you. The more, the better.
Hey, John's recreating it, so that's all.
There you go. So use Gruyere. Gruyere has, it's the same thing, just no holes, and this way you get more cheese out of it.
Now, besides the prime rib sandwich, what would you serve with that? What other side?
I'd make, you could do some potatoes, and, don't do those instant potatoes, because I don't know how to cook things out of a box. Listen, I went to culinary school, the whole been cooking. I can't make Jell-O. I can't. And my head doesn't match up. Instant mashed potatoes, I look at it. It's like a microwave. To me, it's a timer. I don't know how to use those things.
Wait, hold on. You never made Jell-O shots?
They never solidify. I don't know if I didn't boil the water properly. I don't know. But it's nice.
Josh,
you can
have
have it.
We're going to have to teach him.
That's it. There you go. But that would go well with, I really think, with the pairings that we spoke about for today. And then on the back end, we'll finish with a little dessert.
Sounds good to me. So, and what I would pair with this prime rib sandwich, that is a tongue twister right there, is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Now, for me, this was new. It's actually Josh's favorite go-to bourbon.
Yep, so, and it is my last sip tonight.
Really?
On this bourbon.
Brand new, ready to go.
Might have to sneak in Jordan's house somehow and steal that dram.
So I did pour myself a glass. I mean, right off the. I mean, look at the color on that. That is
Yeah.
dark.
It's
So
a dark boy.
oh yeah. So it is a 90.4 proof bourbon. The reason why I got the double oaked name is goes through the regular oaking or the regular barreling process, and
Mhm.
then they rebarrel it in seasoned virgin charred oak barrels.
I
And
knew a girl like that once.
well, there it is. There it is. And damn it. And that's aged for 6 to 12 months. And there we go. So something right off the top, when nosing it, it is straight caramel, toffee, oak, toasted marshmallow, and then on the sip, I almost choked. Don't do that. But even for a high proof, you taste it on the tongue with a mild finish. And definitely toffee again, toasted marshmallow. Overall, it's sweet but spicy. The mash bill on it is 72% corn, 18% rye, so that's where you're getting that spice note to it,
Yep.
and then 10% malted barley. But that color really comes from that charred oak barrels. But we're not done yet because it's cigar time.
Ooh,
Mr.
yeah.
Josh, what you got?
So it's today. You compare this with pretty much anything, just because of the whiskey itself. The bourbon is just good. Today I chose my favorite Dominican cigar. Let's get it that way. Arturo Fuente Hemingway signature. So the signature means because they have it in a short story. Short story is a little bit fatter of a size on that one. This one is a Dominican, almost Dominican Puro. It has an African Cameroon wrapper around with Dominican binders and fillers. This is gonna add some sweetness, some more spice coming in from that Dominican filler, as well as is not overly powerful cigar. So it's a nice, like I would say, a nice golf cigar. Not very expensive cigar either. In your state is probably somewhere around $8 to $10, but it's worth every bit of it. Where it's just gonna add some of that sweetness and some of that spice, gonna hold up and just transfer over.
Now, question for you, real quick. At the bottom of the cigar, it doesn't look like a normal cutoff.
Yes,
What
it
is that?
is a perfecto tip, which means it's kind of a closed foot comes out. This is kind of a specially made mold they use in a lot of cigar factories. Um, that just means when you first light it, you're gonna get the initial notes of that Cameroon wrapper, and as it smokes out, the draw will open, and you'll get the binder and the filler with it with the wrapper. So you'll get that initial sweetness with that initial spice coming in right after, and to mellow itself out to just go with the bourbon.
So that cigar and that dram, you're having a new la la day.
Oh yeah, this is a ooh la la day all day, and just
He's, he's loving it. He's having too much fun
oh yeah,
over
because
there.
this is my favorite bourbon, just because when I first tried it, I tried regular Woodford, didn't give me anything. Like it tastes like water to me almost. And then once I tried the double oaked, I was like, oh, now we're getting some flavor. So for me, I get a lot of chocolate, a lot of raisin. I do get the toffee. I do get that marshmallow. And then when you mix a solid cigar with it, whether it's a Dominican or a Nicaraguan, it
Mhm.
just comes out perfect.
Greg's saying that he gets a lot of chocolate off of it as well. So
Mhm.
that definitely works together with the chocolate and all those notes, the caramel, everything that you guys are mentioning. Those are beautiful blends together. it makes a lot of sense why that cigar and that tram goes together. That's why the dessert that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and I'll show you how to have fun with that.
How to tie it all together. Now, Josh, another quick question for you. Why a Dominican cigar over a Nicaraguan or a what's called a Cuban for this particular pairing?
So for me, I went with a Dominican just because I felt like a Dominican is gonna handle a little bit better with the darker spirits. But at the same time, I chose this one specifically because of that Cameroon wrapper. So not only do you have that Dominican binder and filler, which is gonna add some spice. Dominican does have spice. It doesn't have as much spice as a Nicaraguan though. Nicaraguan, there's something in the soil that the reason why I chose the previous one last week was because it was a Nicaraguan. It's gonna have that spice because of that specific one has a little bit more agave sweetness with that drink. This one it has spice, so you don't want overly abundance of that spice. So especially if you're gonna pair it with a prime rib, let's say you throw some red pepper flakes on it, right? You don't want too much spice to overpower everything. So this one kind of works out where you get that pepper, you get that spice, but then you get that Cameroon sweetness to round out.
Would like a horseradish, fresh horseradish, or a horseradish sauce, would that be too much to work with everything?
It would not be too much because this gives you a spice coming in on the sides of your palate, so it doesn't go up and down.
Sure.
So now, for me, since I get it on the sides, now think of it when you drink the bourbon, you get it on your tongue going back down.
Here,
Yep. So,
oh, it's nice.
so
It all makes sense. It makes sense as to why this is his perfect pairing.
Yeah. So for me,
and that's why that bottle's also gone.
Yeah, this bottle does not last long in my household, and in New York, this specific double oak is kind of hard to find sometimes, and makes it kind of a hot ticket item around here.
You got a question from John.
So, John, black pepper could be part of that spice. You could also be thinking red pepper. You could be thinking white pepper. You could also think cayenne pepper, or spice can go into nutmeg, cinnamon, cumin, or anything like that. Ginger, baking spices, if you want to go there. You know, it's can get down to the nitty and gritty, but generally, black pepper. When you think black pepper, smell it. That's or taste it. That's what you'll think like a normal spice on some cigars. If you ever have white pepper, that'll be a nice little mild. But then when people say, "Who that was too spicy for me," generally they're thinking red pepper or cayenne pepper, which means it burned up their nostrils when they did a retro, or as soon as it went on their tongue, they felt the numbness right away going through. So, but generally spice is just what you think spice is, and what you recall in your mind as you're smoking the cigar, the feeling of what type of pepper you had.
You got another question. What size are you having tonight? What's the ring gauge?
This is the 6x47. So this is the signature, which is the only size that comes in 6x47. They have the best seller, which comes in a 6x48, but it doesn't have the perfecto tip.
Gotcha. I love it. I just learned something new right now.
Mm-hmm.
Perfecto.
Yeah.
Muy perfecto, is that right?
Nah, you guys are too young for Perfecto Mundo. That's from the Fonz.
Yeah.
But
I realized real quick. I actually forgot to post a picture of the Woodford just for
good, because that's what I was going to ask. Let me see what the bottle
look like it's full. Let's see what the bottle looks like when it's full.
We should get another photo of your empty bottle there.
I like that. It's in nice shape. So do you think bottling is more of just a marketing aspect opposed to having anything to do with the actual liquid inside? The way, the reason why I ask, you look at certain wines are put into different type of bottles, and there's that whole rabbit hole you could go down. Does that affect any spirits at all?
It's one of those questions that yes and no. But I think it really comes down to the price for glass, because a Woodford bottle, that square bottle, you see it on the shelf, it's Woodford. They shape that bottle specifically for them. But it also comes down to corking too. Some people use a plastic cork, other people actually use cork board. So I think it's more of a marketing slash, bang for your buck type. Look at it.
See, I always look at the bottles and picture the back bar, right? What's on your shelf and how much real estate are they able to take with the size of the bottle. So that's why I was asking.
I'm always thinking that way.
Yeah.
Can it fit in the well? Probably not. Would it fit in the well? Well, I could put it in there. So, and here we got Richard saying it's all about marketing.
Yeah.
It is.
If you go back in time to the Prohibition era and look at the bottle shapes for that, a lot of bottles today mimic that shape, and then you get like a Woodford bottle, coming out with that square look. I mean,
and I'm wondering,
it looks different.
Right now, glass is becoming such a hard commodity to actually make. I was even listening to somebody about an olive oil company that's asking for them to send back their used bottles, and they'll give them like a 10% discount because they can't get the glass for production. So I just wondered, how that's going to start to affect stuff. But in the good way, you said, so Jordan, if you don't mind, just go through the profile again. You said marshmallow,
toasted marshmallow, toffee. Greg said chocolate. I mean, I definitely get the chocolate. You got Josh, who likes that chocolate covered raisins, and oakiness. So it's a nice balance of flavors.
So
and when I first tried it, I thought it was going to be smoky. It's not. It's sweet, and spicy.
Yep.
But what do you have? What do you got for us?
So something that would definitely go with that picture on the sweeter side, but definitely finish it with bitter dark chocolate. Would be a coconut macaroon. Coconut macaroons are going to give you that texture. I would use unsweetened coconut and then make the meringue style that holds the basically macaroon together with your traditional sugar to make it add that sweetness. With the chocolate, close your eyes, drop it in your mouth. You got basically a Mounds bar, right? And so if you pictured the less sweet, more elegant Mounds bar flavor to go with that, the double oak and that cigar, I think we're looking at a good day. I don't know about you, but I am.
It does look good. Wonder what the audience thinks about this one. Last week was s'mores. This week is coconut macaroons. I mean, I think we're starting to trend right now.
Well, it's food, booze, cigars, and food again.
Always changing it up.
Yep. Elevating the game one dessert at a time.
Of course.
There you go.
Of course. So I see we have some of our clubhouse friends in the room tonight. Thank you all for being here. Some Facebook friends and of course some family, because hey, my family supports me, and that's all that matters. But definitely have some questions here for you, Chris.
Chris, when pairing things, what's the basic rule? Should the notes match or just harmonize? John, on that, I prefer to go. It depends. If you're going to go with the harmony, the way that I'm hearing that there's the sweetness coming from the double oak. That's why I'm thinking with the coconut. If you think of coconut, unsweetened coconut is just a texture feel that you're adding. And then you get that bitter of the chocolate that should work well off of that. But I also like going, explosions in your mouth. opposite way. I have sugar with cayenne, and nothing better than that, and the unexpected of that. How you put sea salt on top of chocolate. I've been known to actually add a lot of cayenne to my chocolate,
Really?
and use chocolate. Chocolate is actually, I've cooked many tomato-based products, and I've added chocolate to that, and it makes a big difference. Adds richness, adds that little bit of bite to it. So thank you, John.
All sounds great. And then I saw Lisa. She had posted, are we looking at boxed bourbon in our future? I hope not. I hope not. The whole
Please
boxed
don't.
wine thing,
Please don't.
I don't even touch
Nah.
unless you slap the bag. No, I hope it's not that.
No, you might have to go save your bottles and maybe go get them refilled.
You're gonna be that guy that goes to Publix or a supermarket and just stands there and pushes the button. Just push the button.
Push the button. That's
Oh,
it.
Josh is ahead of me. He's got the empty bottle. He could start tomorrow.
Well, another great episode 4. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And Josh, I'm happy we were able to test out your bourbon of choice. Hopefully in the next in the near future we'll be finding Chris's and mine. Now I did have one more question for Josh.
Is there a cigar for dummy type book? Not really. Not really.
You're
I would
watching
just,
it.
yeah, pretty much.
You're on it every
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night we get Chris closer to being like me.
That's it. It's cigars, and I'm the dummy.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. To be honest, I would say smoke cigars the way you want to smoke them. So there really is no dummy. There's some right and wrong ways to like light and cut a cigar, but once you learn those, it takes 2 minutes to learn that. Then pretty much you're off to the races. Just have fun with it. Enjoy every moment. There are some people that I know that stop smoking cigars because they stop enjoying it. Once you stop enjoying a cigar, then pretty much that's when you're not having fun no more. But the cigar is meant to relax, put you in a good space, nice cup of bourbon. After that meal you just had with the prime rib, let's go there. Then you just sit back, smoke your cigar, take a little macaroon with coconuts, and you're good to go. There you go.
You're good to go. I'm gonna post a picture before we close this up, just so people can see it one more time.
And just so that it is the prime rib, the mushrooms in there with the provolone. Remember, no Swiss, guys. Nobody used the Swiss. Why? Got holes in it. No, but the Jordan, I'm gonna send over and make sure we get that macaroon recipe up on the Facebook page.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. I will definitely be posting. And for everybody in the room tonight, make sure to like, follow, share. We also have a YouTube channel, website foodboostcigars.com, this Facebook podcast, and Instagram.
Also, join us on Clubhouse, Food Booze and Cigars.
Clubhouse. I always forget to say Clubhouse, but this is actually where it all started, was Clubhouse. And that's where I met you both. The both of you. So with that, gentlemen, thank you again for an awesome Tuesday night, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Night.
Good night.